can we all agree that there is some happening today that we will look back in hindsight and say, what the were we thinking?
Yes.
And to me, the most obvious thing that we are going to look back on in hindsight and say, what the were we thinking, was allowing machine learning to run rampant on social media and fully participating in it without any thought process whatsoever. Like we will
Hmm.
look back on a time, it will take like it will take it won't be for 20 or 30 years, but eventually it will probably be Gen Z will get older. Like Gen Z will turn 35 and like go to therapy and look back on this time. And then people will start to research it. They'll start to look into it and they'll say, machine learning was hijacking our dopamine, our cortisol was being hijacked by these algorithms.
Hmm.
Kids were on this stuff 14, 15 years old. Adults were on it. Like this is a thing that we will look at in the same way that we're talking about a kid standing up in a bench seat going 55 miles an hour down the highway, dad's drinking a Budweiser. Like
Hmm.
this is a lot, like that was a thing that happened all the time when I was growing up. Like that was the norm. And it would be absurd. You know what I mean? If you were doing that today, you would have the cops called on you every mile of that trip.
Yeah.
That was common occurrence back. And so, but nobody was aware. It was like, yeah, that's just what we do. I do believe that this is going to be a reckoning that happens eventually.
Hmm.
There are it's all the way from like the innocuous time wasting on it, but I mean there are a lot of issues going on. Like this is causing a lot of societal issues, from changing elections, overthrowing governments in other countries, like all the way down to to teen suicide, to these things are all directly tied to these machine learning algorithms that are finely tuned to hijack your dopamine and cortisol.
Right.
Like,
And hijacked to ensure that you are safely tucked away in your echo chamber, that
exactly.
you're only exposed to ideas that you like,
hmm
that you're likely to respond to positively or polarizing to incite social outrage.
exactly. And it's not, and so I don't want to like I don't believe so what you just described is like, to me, I think that that's an emergent phenomenon. Would not I do think that these machine learning algorithms on these platforms are very simple. I don't think there's any nefarious intent behind them. Um, they are simply trying to optimize for put more content on here, stay on here longer. That's all they're optimizing for. It just so happens that human nature is such that the net result is this emergent phenomenon that you're discussing, is outrage, echo chambers. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, like families have been broken up over this. Like it's like there's a lot of bad going on. And like I don't want to hit on any of the like hot button political issues or anything like that, because I think that just becomes a distraction from the actual, like,
Hmm.
what is actually going on. And that is dopamine is being hijacked by very simple machine learning algorithms that nobody understands. But
Yeah.
there's like a generation of kids coming up. Well, and I would even include myself in this, where like at a certain point, people become of a certain age and certain status to where they understand how these things work and start talking about it and start talking about what are the ramifications of this.
Hmm.
Um, like, it was like, and there's a natural phenomenon that will occur as like, I mean, think about Facebook today. Like, it's like Facebook is a place where like 60-year-old 60-year-old single people go to hook up It's where I go to buy drum parts. It is like it's
Share
not
recipes.
yeah. You know what I mean? It's a dorky old person place to be, right? Myself included. I'm no shade, but that's what Facebook is. Do you really think TikTok's not going to be that? Do you not
Mhm.
think that TikTok's going to be Facebook Marketplace in 10 years? And
Yeah.
so then so what will happen is all of these kids who have like their identity, like created an entire economy on this platform. This is a company that's going to IPO. It's going to do what Facebook did, and it's going to become a place where, in the year 2040, it's going to be a place where old people go to buy quilts. I mean,
Mhm.
that's like,
Yeah.
it will become that. Uh,
Sure. Well, it's like none of these changes that we're seeing, AI adoption, the increase of content that a company can launch because of AI, the cost kind of coming way down. None of these changes are happening in a vacuum. Like to your point, they are all happening within a extremely complex set of systems called our society,
mhm.
right? And our culture. And when I look at some of the other variables, like the change of buying behavior generationally, how different generations are making buying decisions, it gives me hope that the landscape is shifting and that society will shift naturally with those changes. So one example, my dad's generation, the baby boomers, were highly, highly susceptible to advertising on an emotional level. And they were the generation of the Super Bowl commercial.
Dude, that's the horses, the Budweiser
The
horses. Oh my
horses,
God. Yeah.
the frogs, Got Milk campaign, all of these iconic ad campaigns. Like my father-in-law just the other night referenced the commercial of the Native American crying when
They're
someone
littered.
littered. And the way he, you know, kind of reminisced about that commercial, it was clear that hit him. That got him. And he's remembering it and recalling it 50 years later or however long. And his grandchildren who were in the room um, had never seen that commercial. In fact, our 17-year-old says, I've never seen a commercial. She has seen commercials, but in her mind, she's never seen a commercial because she doesn't watch TV.
Hmm.
She watches YouTube. And she's seen plenty of ads on YouTube, but to her, those are not commercials and they're skippable. You skip them, you
Yeah.
pay no attention to it, and you move on. Yes, that commercial.
It gets me every time too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's many campaigns. There's the Alka-Seltzer campaign, the Pop Pop Fizz Fizz. Oh, what a relief it is! Those campaigns are what advertising was built on. Like that was the empire of advertising on the backs of those types of campaigns, and it was the heyday of ads. And that generation was highly susceptible to ads. The American housewife being advertised to for the very first time because advertisers realized, holy, it's the woman of the house who is buying the laundry soap and the toothpaste and these things. And so ads started being focused more to females, whereas before that, all advertising was very male. It was facts and figures, no emotion. It was something in the Sears Roebuck catalog that you would get or the Montgomery Ward catalog. And the ad wasn't emotional really at all. But then advertisers realized women are spending money. Let's speak in stories to these women. Let's have them see themselves ideally in this idealistic way in these ads, and then off to the races with the emotional ad campaigns of our parents' generation. right? And it was highly, highly successful. Households were brand loyal to Tide, to Coca-Cola, to whatever, um, common things in your house became tribalistic symbols of your brand loyalty
Mhm.
for the very first time. But what's happening in the younger generation, we're the sandwich, right? So we're between them and the kids of today. What I'm seeing in the younger generation and even people in the business world under about 35 is a very different way of making buying decisions.
Mhm.
They are not as susceptible to emotional ad campaigns. They don't give a how cool the website is, how cool the ad concept was. They want to go into Reddit and have a conversation about the technical specs of that product that they are thinking of buying or of that service that they're thinking of subscribing to. They want a lot of social proof. They want a lot of data and proof that the thing they're going to buy will solve the problem that they have.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what I'm excited about, and you can tell I'm excited about it, in the B2B space, I think in 5 years, as the baby boomer generation retires and 5 to 10 years from now when they are completely out of the office and we have millennials making buying decisions in the B2B space, decision makers in the corner office are millennials. We're going to see businesses making buying decisions not based on relationships they have with people at the country club, not based on the good old boy cigar club handshake. We're going to see people making buying decisions because of deep research that their AI agents are doing to find good solutions for their companies.
100